The market is rather calm right now, but Moodeng is rallying. The question is why? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? Is this all short-term leverage in the market? Are the whales suddenly accumulating? Let's have a look at the data most people are not considering. Now we're currently at roughly 25 cents and we are up 21%, while Solana, the chain where Moodeng is housed, rather trended down. Now this is not the first video on Moodeng on this channel. I've already published several over here and they tend to perform quite well. So here's one published 9 days ago. It did 38% more views than the average video and it was published when we are still at 13 cents. So since then we have almost doubled. Another video followed, but that video, interestingly enough, got less views. So does this mean that the interest in Moodeng is now declining over time? Let's have a look at some data. Moodeng is the best performing meme coin in the last 24 hours. It's also the best performer within the Pump.Fun ecosystem, so the launchpad of meme coins on Solana. But what's causing all of this? Let's have a look at the perpetual futures market. So the bets on the price. That's short-term leverage. So on the spot market, we saw a maximum of $185 million of trading volume, and that was on OKX. But on the perpetual futures market, we saw way more than that. 2.5 billion with a B of trading volume, and that was on Binance. The majority of those traders are currently betting on falling prices. The funding rate is negative, so the shorts have to pay the longs in order to bet on falling prices. Historically, the market tends to move in the opposite direction, as in when there are more people betting on falling prices, the price goes up. When there are more people betting on rising prices, we might see a short-term adjustment with the spot market, but then as we deflate, the shorts take over. So there is a chance that we'll see another short squeeze or another leg up. The more negative this funding rate is, the better potentially for the price. We can clearly see that the recent rally in Moodeng has created a lot of interest on the perpetual futures market. So people are massively betting and people are getting liquidated in both directions. On the Solana chain, Moodeng is now the 4th largest token in terms of liquidity. Only Trump, Fartcoin and Popcat is larger. We've got 7.1 million of liquidity. There are two interesting price charts, and interestingly enough, they give us very similar price targets to the upside. So this is Moodeng just in US dollars, and our historical top had been somewhere around 65 cents. So that would imply at the current price a potential upside of maybe 165%. We've got a very similar chart when we look at Moodeng relative to Solana. Again, two potential resistance lines. Here the upside is 103% or so. So there seems to be some kind of inherent leverage. When Solana is going up, Moodeng tends to go up more. Because it's a smaller coin, makes sense, less liquidity tends to move the price more percentage-wise. Now on chain, we've got close to 76,000 holders. Let's see what happened with those holders in the last month where the price went up by almost 800%. What we've got over here is the number of first-time traders versus recurring traders over time for the last month. We had a nice wave of first new time traders on the 8th and 9th of May. So that was over here with that rally. Interestingly enough, the second rally that we saw did not experience new first time traders coming into the token, at least on chain. What I believe happened with the secondary rally is a lot of demand with the perps. That's why the funding rate went up that much. What we're seeing over here is the all-time trading volume. So on the left in US dollars and on the right normalized to 100%. Segregated by different wallet sizes. So there was a lot of interest in Moodeng in the early days because this is when people made the real gains. This is almost 1,000% of trading return. But then over time, trading volume tended to slow down and now it starts to come back. Retail investors took over more and more of the trading volume over time. But now, as the trading volume comes back, the larger wallets participate more and more again. What we're seeing here is the number of retail investors versus whale investors over time. What's in the middle is something in between. So every wallet on the left here has at least 4,000 Moodeng tokens. At the current price, that's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. In the middle, it's $10,000 worth of the token. On the right, it's $100,000 worth of the token. Again, we do not see how the small retail investor or the medium-sized retail investor is buying in here. But the whales, they did buy. Not as much as in the early days, but still they are accumulating. The price is so close to the all-time high, but the number of holders on chain is very far away from that. Again, probably because of leverage. What we're seeing over here is who holds the tokens, how much of the supply is held by the whales and by small retail. And this was always a token that was held by the very large investor, but especially with the recent rally, those whales buy up more and more. The small retail investor doesn't really do anything regarding price discovery. And so still, I think the most likely scenario is that the token will move in the opposite direction to where most people bet. Currently, most people bet on falling prices, so we're likely going to see another leg up. It is not an organic rally. There's not a lot of people getting in, but it is a player versus player game driven by a rally with leverage. Now, some people might make the argument that all of this analysis doesn't help at all because markets are efficient. But I tend to disagree because it's people that make markets efficient. There are clearly winners and losers in the game, and the winners tend to continue to win. So it's not just a game of luck, it's a game of luck and skill. And the nice thing about crypto is that we've got much more data in this market compared to other markets because every transaction is publicly recorded on the blockchain. But very few people actually use that data properly. And that's in the end where winners and losers are born. People that don't look into the details enough, they tend to lose over time. That's the vast majority. Now, the charts that you've seen in this video come from a tool that I've developed myself on top of the Dune Analytics platform. It's part of the premium membership of this channel. There are two dashboards. There's a dashboard for Ethereum related blockchains. So those are the ones we can analyze. We can plug in any token into this tool and then we can see how many large holders are there, how many small holders are there, how many new users enter a token, and how many buyers and sellers do we have over time. It's also always useful to look at the token ownership, right? Is a token mainly held just by the whales, by the people that have more than $100,000 worth of the token? If that's true, it's potentially, especially if that happened forever, a quite dangerous token. And so this is how I think about this fundamentally. The target with trading and with investing is to be better informed than the average, to be the person that makes the market efficient. If we are better skilled than the average person, then we should over time also make positive expected value bets. So that means that not every single trade will be positive, but on average, we should make money. Again, because we can estimate the probabilities better. We can see the dangers and the potential upsides better. Now, I have made more than 100 tutorial videos on various topics within crypto. How to do on-chain analytics, how to build a Dune dashboard like we've just seen. But of course, you also get access to the dashboard itself. Also about risk management, about how to properly use leverage, if that's your thing. All kinds of videos. Feel free to check them out. The newest video is this one, how to use perpetual futures and how to use the Hyperliquid platform to beat others. The videos are posted on the website, but they're also posted directly in Telegram. And here's the feedback to that tutorial. Feel free to stop the video and read through this yourself. But of course, we also need to start somewhere. And so I'm personally, of course, sharing my own trades as well as I open them. Of course, I can't share the newest trades here on YouTube, but have a look at this. This is on March 3rd. I'm adding another short, Cardano, relative to the US dollar. And the explainer was in a premium update video. So I publish premium update videos every 3 to 4 days. I then added more exposure on the 11th of March and I then closed it on the 7th of April. So of course, not every trade works out that well, but Cardano went down relative to Bitcoin by 36% during that time. And so with this membership, I want to do both. Of course, I want to make it profitable very quickly. That's why I share my trades, but I also want that the vast majority, at least of the members, takes the time to learn as much as possible. That in the end, you might not even need the membership anymore. You can make your own profitable trades. Now have a look at this. This is where our members share their winning trades. If you use the right leverage, if you know how to do proper risk management as well, you can make hundreds of % in a single trade. It's all about being prepared and knowing the data better than most other market participants. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 US per month. The price has been reduced because currently the attention on crypto is still relatively low. Once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, then I might go back to the $160 165. But the 125 is locked in for everybody that signs up now. So when the price increases, when you are still subscribed, your price will not increase. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. There's also a link to Premium directly here on the right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. So see you next time. Cheers.